Earth's rarest plants that bloom only once in decades. Most plants and flowers that we see around us bloom every year, painting the world with color season after season. We take for granted the roses in our gardens, the daisies in fields, or the cherry blossoms that return each spring. But some plants keep their beauty locked away, hidden for decades. They live in silence and patience, slowly building the energy for a single magnificent moment. And when that moment comes, it's so rare and fleeting that entire communities gather. Scientists rush with cameras, and travelers fly across the world just to witness it. Today, we uncover the story of the rarest plants that bloom only once in decades, nature's ultimate waiting game. But why would a plant wait for decades to bloom? The answer lies in survival. These plants often live in extreme environments, deserts, mountain slopes, or tropical forests where resources are scarce. For them, blooming is not a yearly luxury. It is a massive all-or-nothing investment. Each bloom requires enormous amounts of energy, nutrients stored in roots or stems over decades, water reserves saved during years of drought, timing coordinated with pollinators, rainfall, and climate cycles. For these plants, blooming is not just about beauty, it's about reproduction. They only flower when conditions are just right, and often they bloom once, produce seeds, and then die. It is patience written in petals. Who are these rare bloomers? Let's begin in the deserts of the Americas with the Agave Americana, often nicknamed the century plant. Despite its name, it doesn't wait a full century, but it can take 20 to 30 years, and sometimes longer, before blooming. When it does, the event is spectacular. From its rosette of thick, spiny leaves, the agave sends up a towering stalk, sometimes over 8 meters high, crowned with clusters of yellow-green flowers. The stalk grows so fast you can almost watch it climb skyward. And then, almost as quickly as it came, the agave dies. Its last act is to produce seeds, ensuring the next generation will take root in the desert sands. For centuries, agaves have been central to human life. Indigenous peoples of Mexico use their fibers for clothing, their sap for drink, and today, agaves give us tequila and mezcal. But at its heart, the agave is still a symbol of patience, waiting decades for its final blaze of glory. Bamboo, the mass bloomers. Now we move from deserts to forest, where bamboo holds one of the strangest flowering strategies in nature. Some species of bamboo bloom only once every 50 to 120 years. But here's the real mystery. When they do bloom, every single plant of that species flowers at the same time. Whether they grow in India, Japan, or Africa, they synchronize across continents. This phenomenon, called gregarious flowering, is still not fully understood. Scientists believe bamboo has an internal genetic clock, counting down silently for decades until the time arrives. After the mass flowering, most of the bamboo dies, leaving behind seeds. The sudden death of entire forests can devastate ecosystems, but the seeds provide bursts of food for wildlife, and even cause population booms in animals like rats. Historically, bamboo flowering has been linked to famines in India and China, when exploding rat populations devoured crops after feeding on bamboo seeds. To local villagers, the sight of bamboo flowering was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, a natural omen of scarcity and change. Titan Arum, the corpse flower. In the rainforests of Sumatra, Indonesia, lives one of the world's most famous rare bloomers, the Titan Arum, better known as the corpse flower. Why the gruesome nickname? Because when it blooms, it smells like rotting flesh. The Titan Arum produces one of the largest flowers in the world, sometimes reaching over 3 meters tall. But it only blooms once every 7 to 10 years, and each bloom lasts just 24 to 48 hours. The smell, as unpleasant as it seems to us, is its survival strategy. The flower mimics the scent of decaying meat to attract carrion beetles and flies, which act as pollinators. Despite the stench, the corpse flower is a global celebrity. Botanical gardens in the United States, Europe, and Asia host bloom events that draw thousands of visitors. People wait in line for hours just to glimpse and smell this bizarre spectacle. It is a reminder that beauty in nature often comes with strangeness, and sometimes even disgust. Neelakurinji, India's blue miracle. Once every 12 years, the hills of Kerala in southern India transform into a sea of blue. This miracle is created by the flowering of Neelakurinji, a shrub that blooms only once in over a decade. For locals and travelers, the blooming is not just a natural event, but a cultural celebration. Entire mountainsides are blanketed in purple-blue blossoms, attracting pilgrims, tourists, and photographers from across the world. In 2018, over 1 million visitors came to Kerala just to witness it. For centuries, the blooming of Neelakurinji has been used by hill tribes to measure time itself. Elders would say, "I was born during the last blooming, and I will see the next." This rare rhythm of nature connects human generations to the patience of the land. Talipot Palm, the towering giant. Our final bloomer is the Talipot Palm, native to India and Sri Lanka. This giant can live for 30 to 80 years before it finally flowers. When the time comes, it produces an explosion of millions of tiny blossoms, forming a massive crown over 6 meters wide. The bloom is breathtaking, but it's also the palm's last act. Afterward, the tree dies, leaving behind thousands of seeds. In rural communities, the Talipot palm has long been valued for its leaves, which are used for writing manuscripts, making thatch roofs, and weaving. But its once-in-a-lifetime bloom is revered as a sacred event, a reminder of life's cycle of creation and death. Why these rare blooms matter? Why do these rare blooms matter so much to us? For the plants, the answer is survival. These flowers attract pollinators from miles away, ensuring reproduction after decades of waiting. The seeds they produce sustain ecosystems, feed wildlife, and sometimes reshape entire landscapes. But for humans, the meaning goes deeper. Witnessing these rare blooms is like witnessing a miracle, a reminder that nature's rhythms move on scales larger than our lifetimes. Cultures around the world treat these blooms with reverence. In Kerala, pilgrims climb hills to see Neelakurinji. In Sri Lanka, villagers gather under the Talipot palm. In cities, crowds flock to greenhouses to glimpse the corpse flower. These blooms remind us that beauty can be fleeting, fragile, and yet unforgettable. They challenge our impatience and teach us that sometimes the greatest wonders are the ones we wait decades to see. From the towering stalk of the century plant to the blue seas of Neelakurinji, these rare blooms prove that time itself is part of nature's design. They bloom not for us, but for survival. And yet, their beauty has shaped human stories, traditions, and dreams. If you had the chance, which of these rare blooms would you want to see in your lifetime? The agave's final flame? The titan Arum's stinking giant? Or the mystical blue hills of Kerala? Share your choice in the comments, and don't forget to push the like button, and then subscribe to the Extremes of Reality for more journeys into the rare, the common, and the abundant.